I'm Faye Thompson. Today we're going to do two recipes, and one of them is beef stew and the other is baked apples. The first recipe we're going to do today, we're going to do the beef stew. And I usually just go to the store and buy beef stew meat, and there's 2 pounds of that. And the other thing that really adds, I think, to beef stew is the oxtail. And this is about 1 pound. Now, oxtail is something that's really expensive now. It costs you almost as much as steak, but it really makes a difference in the stew. So we're going to start out with 2 cups of water. Oh, I want to tell you too that we're going to use a pressure cooker today. And if you want to cook it on top of the stove, all you'd have to do is cook it a little longer and maybe watch your water level. I think that's about all you'd have to change. So we're going to put 2 pounds of beef stew meat in this pot. And sometimes I cut mine up a little bit smaller than what you buy at the market. This is a little bit smaller. So we got 1 pound of oxtail. Now what I do with the oxtail, it's in there for flavor and really the fat that's on it. But what I'll do is when the stew gets tender, I will take these oxtails out. And you need to always remember to count your oxtail so you'll know exactly how many you're taking out. Because we take it out to take the bone out and the fat off of it. Because the lean meat that's on the oxtail is really good to eat. We'll put that back in the stew. So I'm going over to the pressure cooker and put this in the pressure cooker. I'm going to cook this probably for about an hour. And then when the hour's over, we're going to take the top off and lower the pressure, and then we're going to put our vegetables in it. And we'll go through that when we get through with this. Today, I'll show you how to do 3 different recipes for baked apples. We're not going to bake them all, but I'll show you how. One recipe is we just take the core out of it. You won't leave the peeling on it because that's what makes the apple so good. This little recipe is so easy to do, and they really are good. Every time I make them for anybody, they really do like them. I've been doing a lot of easy recipes for y'all lately, but we do have some more complicated recipes. We'll get to them. Everybody's asking for chicken and dumplings. I make a lot of chicken and dumplings, so we're going to do that one day too. If you ever have to have some real lemon juice, and sometimes I'm too lazy to do the lemons or may not have it. This Minute Maid lemon juice you buy in the freezer, it's pure lemon juice. It's really good. I just put a little lemon juice in this water so it wouldn't turn. Okay, we're just going to use 4 of these kind of apples. Okay, we're going to fill this hole completely full of sugar. And what's so good about these apples is the peeling on it. You really will like the peeling on it. And I put a lining, foil lining in it so it won't make it so hard for you to clean up too. I'm going to use about almost a tablespoon for each one of those. We're just going to stick the butter right on top. And when you put it in the oven, of course that melts and runs down in it. Okay, that is ready for the oven. Now the next recipe, we're going to peel the apple. So we're going to peel this apple and we're going to wrap it in a crescent roll. There's 2 different ways you can do this recipe. We use one with orange juice, but you can substitute and use the Mountain Dew, and it's exactly the same recipe. And we take the core out of it. This recipe has to have 4 apples. This is a pan we're going to do these apples in. We got our crescent rolls here, 4 apples, and you have 8 crescent rolls. So you cut your apples in 2, and that makes you have 8 apples. So, okay, we're going to wrap this apple up. You just take that crescent roll and wrap it around the apple like that. And you know, you don't need any great big apples for this either. A small apple, it's probably I could cut some of these in too, and it would work fine. We have to have 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and we're going to mix that in with the butter. We've got 1 stick of butter. We have a stick of butter and 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. We're going to pour that over these apples. Now, we need a cup of orange juice. And we need a cup of sugar. The sugar will mix itself in when you get it in the oven, so. Okay, this is ready. We preheat an oven 350 degrees. I can bake both of these at the same time. And they have to cook about 25-30 minutes. But if you don't watch, they're going to get too brown on the top. So what I do is start off with a foil cover. I'm going to cover them with foil. And then about 15 minutes I'll look at them and probably uncover them again. I'm going to cook both of those recipes in the oven. They have the same temperature. And the other recipe, the only difference is in the recipe I did, you just change the orange juice to a Mountain Dew. And it changes the taste of it though, but exactly the same recipe. So you might want to try that sometime. My family likes the orange juice better. I've finished the apples now, and I'm going to get back with getting ready for the ingredients that goes in the stew. Okay, I'm going to get prepared when the meat gets finished over there in the pressure cooker. I have cut up, it takes 3 to 4 potatoes, and I've already cut up the others. I'll just leave one. I'm always picking up things that I think will make my time, save me in time. I love this little cutter. Some of my grandchildren tell me they call it my kitchen toys. I guess they are toys. I play with them. Now, these potatoes, I like cut them in kind of bite-sized pieces. Now, we have our potatoes sitting in water so they won't turn too. What we're going to do is put 2 cans of Veg-All. Now, there's another way you can do this. It's probably a little bit better. If you want to buy those frozen vegetables in the market, it's already cut up and mixed variety of vegetables. I have used those, and I got 1 large onion cut up. I've got, this is a 2 Veg-All, and you want to drain that too now. Be sure and drain it. And then we've got 3 potatoes here, and we'll drain that water off of them. We've got 20 ounces of tomato juice, and we're using Campbell's tomato juice today. That's really good. And then we will salt and pepper. I don't have any measurements on that. You just have to taste it. I took these out of the oven because you need to baste them every once in a while. So we're going to baste them real good in this butter and sugar and put them back in the oven. They have to cook about 30 to 45 minutes. So we'll be back with you later. To take the meat out of the cooker. And you know, my experience is with these cookers, if you have meat, it's a little better to let the steam go down naturally. We're going to take the oxtails out. Everything's real tender, see, it's falling all to pieces. But we can get a lot of this fat off of these oxtails because we have gotten all the benefit out of them we need anyway. And that lean meat that's on these is delicious to eat, so we don't want to lose that. We're going to try to take this lean meat out and put it back in there and take the bone out and throw it away. And also the fat. There's going to be a lot of fat on it. I think maybe 2 forks might be better for this. See the fat on it there? You don't want that fat. That we're throwing away. All that fat on it. But save the lean meat because it's delicious. Some of the best meat you'll ever eat. I think all of this is good lean meat. Look how pretty that is. Then that's delicious. There's recipes that you can get that's just for oxtail. I hardly ever do it, but this is really the way I like beef stew. We're going to put this back in here. We're going to drain the potatoes in a colander. We're going to dump them in there. We got 1 onion cut up. We're going to dump it in there. We got 2 cans of Veg-All we drained. So now we're going to put this back in the steam cooker, and we're going to cook it for about 20 minutes. We're gonna cook that in the pressure cooker 20 minutes. And then we'll put our tomato juice and our salt and pepper on after that comes out off of the pressure cooker. Okay, we have the 2 recipes for apples today. And this is the one with the crescent roll, and this is the one that we just took the core out of it and put butter and sugar on it. The other one is, it's exactly like this recipe, except leave the orange juice on and add the Mountain Dew. But I think you'll be fooled about this recipe. It's really good, and the peeling, to me, is better than the apple. So, you know, we enjoy this. Almost everyone I fixed this for, they like it. We're ready to take this out of the cooker now. I've let the steam out of it. And we're gonna add this 20 ounces of tomato juice. I hope that's enough. That's what my recipe calls for. I'm gonna add a little bit more tomato juice to that. I'm gonna add maybe a cup to that. I just think it needs a little bit more. Okay, that's good. I think this is enough tomato juice. Now we're going to season it to taste. And you know I've done this so much, so I don't have much trouble with seasoning. I can't tell you how much goes in there. You just taste of it every once in a while and see what you like. Okay, that is our stew completed. We have finished our meal for today. We have done the apple dumplings, and we have done the apple with the butter and sugar on it, and I served a little, you're gonna serve a little of that syrup on the side so they can pour it over it when you serve them. And then this is our beef stew. It's been nice doing these 2 recipes for you, and I hope you join us again sometime.